morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. So for today's video, I wanted to share my top 5 mainstream sweet snacks. And what I mean by that is ones that are more widely available, not ones that are more like specialty type brands. And the reason I wanted to do this video is I feel like sometimes it's not as convenient if you're looking for something that's a little bit more nutritious than, something like candy bars, but still satisfies that sweet craving, or, just something that feels a little bit more dessert-like, because I found that while I like having those options, say like, an RX bar or, the perfect bars, like those sorts of things, it's nice, but they don't taste obviously the same as having a candy bar. So when I eat them, they taste good, but they're not quite satisfying that sweet craving that I have sometimes. And also those things aren't always at, some of the grocery stores that we visit on a more regular basis. So, and if you don't want to have to go to multiple stores, then it's nice to have some options that you can find that are more like readily available. And I feel like these brands are pretty well known, but they might not necessarily be seen as a healthier option. But actually, if you look at the ingredients and the nutrition label, it's actually not as bad as you would think. So that's why I thought that I would share some of my favorites. So I'll preface this with the fact that 3 of these are the Nature Valley brand, but I tried to branch out a little bit from those because I didn't want to just do everything Nature Valley. So this is not sponsored or anything. So the first one I'm going to start with is the Nature Valley Wafer Bars. This one is the peanut butter chocolate. I love this one. It kind of reminds me of they're like the Nutty Buddies or something, of Little Debbie brand or something. So this is essentially the same thing, only the whole thing is not dipped in chocolate, it's just the top. And I'm gonna open these too so I can show you more what they look like in case you haven't seen them before. But so there's actually not a ton of ingredients. It's peanut butter, sugar, palm and palm kernel oil, whole grain wheat flour, peanut flour, whole grain oats, cornstarch, cocoa, milk powder, salt, honey, natural flavor, soy lecithin, and baking soda. Now, I'm not trying to say that all of the ingredients in this are good, but they're not, there are far worse things. There's not added colors. It's not high fructose corn syrup. Like, I can pronounce all of these ingredients. I'm familiar with these ingredients. It's not like eating a candy bar, but you're also not sacrificing the flavor by, having to eat more like what's marketed to be like a health bar or something. So, and it's 200 calories and 5 grams of protein, which, is decent for something that's like, a little bit more like a dessert, and 7 grams of added sugar and 3 grams of fiber. So, really that's pretty decent. So let's dig in. I'm going to have to, since I'm opening all these for you guys, there's no way I'm going to be able to eat all of these. I'm going to have my husband help me. So this is what it looks like. And yeah, I think it's like sort of like oats on top. I feel like oats and peanuts, like crushed peanuts or something. But either way, like, yes, I wish that it had just a little bit more chocolate, but it has the chocolate. And so I feel like, you know, for me, it's better than nothing, because while I like peanut butter and, like, you know, peanut butter snacks, for me, it has to have the chocolate or it doesn't feel like as much of a dessert. So that's why I do like this one. Okay, so the next one, also peanut butter and chocolate, Nature Valley granola cups. And show you how the bottom is dipped in chocolate. So again, not a ton of chocolate, but I feel like still, you know, it has it. You know, you can taste it. It's there. And yeah, so the cup part is like a oat granola type thing, and then the center is filled with the peanut butter. More granola than peanut butter, but still a decent amount of peanut butter, and, you know, just enough chocolate to give it that little dessert type feel to it. So these ingredients are whole grain oats, sugar, palm and palm kernel oil, corn syrup, peanut butter, peanut flour, roasted peanuts, rice flour, cocoa, salt, non-fat dry milk, peanut oil, baking soda, sunflower lecithin, soy lecithin, milk powder, and natural flavor. So again, like I said with the other one, these are not like perfect ingredients, but I still think that all things considered, they're not that bad. So, and this one is 190 calories, 9 grams of added sugar, 2 grams of fiber, and 4 grams of protein. So pretty close to the other one. Not quite as good of stats, but it could do a lot worse for sure. So that's that one. And then this is the last Nature Valley one. It is the soft baked muffin bars, and this one is the lemon poppy seed. I just really happen to like lemon. They do have other flavors. I'm not sure on the stats on those, but I'm guessing they're quite similar. I just really happen to like lemon. So these ones are 160 calories, 4 grams of fiber, 6 grams of added sugar, and 2 grams of protein. So decent, you know, they could have more protein, but other desserts that you could be having also don't have any protein. So, I mean, it's nice when you can find something that feels like a dessert and also has protein, but I feel like because most of them don't, like this has other stats that are good, I would still consider this a win. So the ingredients list has whole grain wheat flour, canola and palm oil, corn syrup, vegetable glycerin, sugar, sugarcane fiber, chicory root extract, fructose, water, non-fat milk, baking powder, egg white, poppy seed, soy lecithin, salt, natural flavor, and pectin. So, like I said, not that bad. Obviously, you know, making your own homemade lemon poppy seed muffins would probably be more nutritious, because you can, like, you have a say as to what goes in it, and you can do as little or as much sugar as you feel is necessary. But, you know, for something that is already made, because that's another part of it, is that all of these, there's the convenience factor. So that plays a part in, you know, the pros and cons. So that is what these look like. And they're pretty soft. I love that they've got the crunchy sugar on top. For me, like, I realize it's not necessary, but like, to me, that just says dessert. And I love the crunchy sugar crystals. So, and yeah, it's quite soft. So yeah, definitely a win in my book. Okay, So then these ones are a shortbread cookie. The brand is Walker's, and I like them because they're a cookie, so they're, you know, definitely a dessert type item, but the stats are really not that bad, and the ingredients are so, like, it's like 4 ingredients. It's wheat flour, butter, sugar, and salt, and that's it. And so for 2 cookies, which I realize doesn't sound like a lot, but because it's shortbread cookies, they're rich, so I feel like you don't really need more than 2 pieces. Like, you will feel more satisfied after eating them. It's 150 calories, 9 grams of fat. I wanted to include the fat for this one because, you know, shortbread cookies, what makes them more rich is all the butter. So 9 grams of fat, which really isn't that bad. And there's only 1 gram of fiber, which isn't great, but only 4 grams of added sugar. So that's good for a dessert. If you think about how many grams of sugar is probably in a dessert that you would get at a restaurant, it's far more than that. And 2 grams of protein. So also not a whole lot in terms of protein, but, you know, mostly I like these for the fact that they are extremely minimal ingredients. They're, you know, simple ingredients and not a lot of sugar, and it still tastes like you're eating a dessert. So, and I feel like one thing you could do if you wanted to like up level it a bit is you could drizzle some like melted chocolate on it or something. I like to use the Lily's chocolate chips, or you could just get like the Lily's like chocolate bar and melt that too. It works just as well. But the Lily's chocolate, if you haven't heard of it, is sweetened with stevia, and to me it tastes just like regular chocolate. I have shared it with many people in my family who are pickier eaters, my husband included, and they really can't tell the difference. So that is my favorite. So if you were gonna do that, I highly suggest the Lily's chocolate. So I will open these, show what they look like. Yeah, so they have, you know, a slight bit of a crunch to them, but they're not also like a, I wouldn't necessarily call them a crispy cookie. It's almost like something in between. So yeah, very good. Highly recommend. Okay, and last but not least, this brand is a Target brand, but you know, Targets are everywhere, so I figured it was still worth including these on the list. So these are Favorite Day is the brand. This flavor is the cocoa nuts. They have a lot of different kinds of their trail mix at Target, and some are really not good and others are, you know, pretty decent, but also not really, you know, the ones that are better aren't really dessert-like. So these ones I like because they do feel like a little bit more of a dessert type of snack, but at the same time, they're like, the stats aren't that bad. So for 3 tablespoons, which, you know, to put it in context, this is not a full bag, obviously, as you can see, but there are 11 servings in the whole bag. So for 3 tablespoons, there's 160 calories, 2 grams of fiber, 7 grams of added sugar, and 3 grams of protein. So, you know, not necessarily like it's not like you're getting a ton of fiber or a ton of protein, but you are getting some. And, you know, there's 11 grams of fat, so you're gonna, you know, be filling up because of the fat content, and 7 grams of added sugar is not that bad. A lot of these have like 15 or more grams of added sugar for each serving. So, and the ingredients for this one, and I'm not going to read everything in the parentheses because that would get kind of long, but it is cashews, coconut macaroon flavored almonds, like, so just like plain almonds, semi-sweet chocolate chunks, and dried coconut. Okay, well, I'll just say, like, so there is some canola oil, there is sugar on the almonds, the coconut macaroon flavored almonds, the corn syrup, brown sugar, some soy lecithin, some natural flavors, but still, all in all, not a terrible option in my opinion. So I'll show you the different pieces. I think I've eaten most of the coconut pieces in this bag because they are one of my favorites, but oh yeah, so this isn't the best example of this. It's the best I'm going to find. Most I'll start with the coconut pieces because most of them are a little bit chunkier than this, but since I'm down to the bottom, but yeah, so it's just real just dried coconut. And then just plain almond piece, and just cashews and chocolate pieces. And then this is the coconut macaroon flavored almonds. And one thing that I've kind of done as I'm eating them, to kind of cut back a little bit on the added sugar, if you wanted to, would be to add more plain almonds and, you know, maybe more plain cashews, and then the Lily's chocolate, and just kind of like use this as like kind of a base to start like a bigger batch of this. And the pieces with the less sugar would outnumber the ones that have the sugar, but I still think on its own it's really not that bad. So I hope that these options were helpful to you. I hope at least one of these sounds good, that you are interested in picking one or more of them up next time you go to the store. Obviously the trail mix, the favorite day, is available at Target, but I'm pretty sure all of these are available at Target and at many other grocery stores and on Amazon. I think the only one that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else is the ones that are the Target brand. So anyways, if you're looking forward to trying any of these, let me know which ones you plan to try first, or if you already have a favorite because you're familiar with any of them, let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.